Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today I will be discussing why you should not waste your money on a cold air intake if your car is not turbocharged. The factory air box that comes in your car, in your naturally aspirated car, is already sucking in the coldest air that it can. It's usually coming in from the grill or it's taking it in from the bumper already. So that being said, it's technically already a cold air intake, just without the whole cool noise that you get when you install a cold air intake. On a naturally aspirated car, you see all these companies that claim to give you 30 horsepower, 50 horsepower just by adding their cold air intake system. That is just a bunch of scams, okay? There is no such cold air intake that can give you that much power. A cold air intake can maximum provide 10 horsepower, maybe 12, 15, once again, depending on your car, make, model, engine size, the location of the cone filter. There are tons of factors to consider here. If you have a naturally aspirated car, your factory airbox already takes in cold air from outside to maximize your engine's performance. If you're adding in one of those cold air intakes, number one, 80% of them are installed inside the engine bay, which means the cone filter is inside the engine bay. It's not in the front bumper, and it's not outside the engine bay like what a proper cold air intake would be. If your cone filter is inside the engine bay now, as opposed to your factory airbox, which was taking in cooler air from the grill to begin with, that's a problem, because that's actually going to rob you of power, and that's going to decrease your vehicle's performance. You're sucking in hotter air, you're going to lose performance. Colder air is more dense, hence why you get the most power out of your engine and it runs the most efficiently. In a nutshell, you're sucking in hotter air with these cold air intakes, and it's actually doing more harm than good. It might sound cool, but it's not actually doing anything for your car, considering you're spending $400 to $600 on this intake. Now, if you had a turbocharged car, that would be a different story. The intake is connected straight into the turbo inlet. It opens up more inner diameter, so your turbocharger can breathe better. But on a naturally aspirated car, it does not do anything other than give you the famous whooshy noise. Number two, if your car has a mass airflow sensor, a cold air intake, if not properly constructed, can screw up your MAF readings, making your car run way too lean, and it can trigger a check engine light and cause a separate problem which you haven't had before. That's also I wouldn't call that an upgrade. I would say that's just dumb. Like, let's say you get a proper cold air intake for your naturally aspirated car. Let's say you get one by one of those famous brands that's like $600. It actually goes into the front bumper. It has a MAF housing that's specifically designed and constructed for your specific car. You install it, everything goes well, great. Okay, awesome. So you get the noise like that, and you get, 10 to 12 horsepower. Now let me ask you this. Is it really worth the $600 that you're going to spend when you can simply take your factory airbox, which already sucks in cold air, and just cut a hole in the bottom, cut the resonator out, and you get the exact same whooshy noise for practically free? One thing you can do is put that $600 away for something else. What about coilovers? Coilovers, they're very useful. You get to lower your car, you have all those dampening settings, all those adjustments, all the good stuff. You can get lowering springs for $300. You can get lowering shocks. There's so many other things that you can get for the price of a cold air intake, which doesn't really do you any good on a naturally aspirated car. So don't believe those companies that are selling their intake and telling you that it'll give you up to 40 or 50 horsepower. That is simply not true. Now, I'm not judging you guys. You guys can do whatever. I'm just telling you guys that these companies are ripping you off and they're trying to make a quick buck off of you. And there is nothing worse than feeling like you got ripped off. I know that feeling. I've been ripped off many times by all these companies trying to sell you, you know, the new intake, and it's so cool and it sounds so good. Truth is, it doesn't do much, and it just gives you the noise. Paint your valve cover, do anything besides get cold air intake. Here's the other thing. The cheap ones on eBay, they don't have the MAP sensor housing that's proper for your car. They're mostly universal. They usually make them for a couple different models at the same time to cut production costs and to save a bit of money, so they don't fit 100% when you install them on your car. And they don't work as well as they should if, like, you're getting a name brand. But once again, if I were to get one, like if I had to choose to get a naturally aspirated intake, I would still go for the eBay one, because, you know, $600 is just outrageous. I can get some, you know, coilovers, some used coilovers. I can get some headlight upgrades. I can get some tail light upgrades, custom steering wheel, whatever, it doesn't matter. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think cold air intakes are worth it on naturally aspirated cars? I don't know. I've never been, it's just kind of rice in my opinion. Like, it's just, I don't know how you can take a piece of pipe with a cone on it that makes noise and call it $600. I don't know how you do it. The 12 horsepower for $600, if it's a proper intake. Now, keep in mind, you get the 10 horsepower if it's a proper intake inside the bumper or outside of the engine bay where it's not sucking in hot air. Now, if you have an improper cold air intake where it's sitting in the engine bay and you're sucking in all that hot air from your motor, that's no good. Anyways, I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Have an amazing day. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.